So we can see the cracks in the Russian narrative regarding the MOSKVA that, hi and welcome to History Legends. Here's the latest update about the Russo-Ukrainian war. We're getting a lot of new reports and I'll summarize the entire situation to you. And remember, the situation changes every hour, so if you have any new updates, just comment them below. If you're new to this channel, make sure to check out my Ukraine playlist so you don't miss anything I've said in the past. And yes, some of my Ukraine videos have been hit with limited or no ads, so make sure to support me on Patreon to keep the show running. The link is in the description. Alright, let's start today with this picture in the back. And you might be wondering why I'm starting this video with a World War I picture. You would think this is World War I, but nope! This is Ukraine 2022. Goes to show how so many things can change within 100 years and some just stay the same. Alright everyone, let's talk about MARIUPOL. Let's take out my favorite tool and let's go. As you see, this entire Azovstal facility is in Russian hands. The Primorsky district and the entire port also in Russian hands, and now it's the final assault on Azovstal. And according to the latest reports, this area here is now also in Russian hands, so we're only talking about Azovstal itself that's still in Ukrainian hands. And as you can see on this map, this is also corroborated by the Institute of the Study of War. Now, I have to admit that in the past, I estimated Ukrainian forces at Mariupol between 14,500 and 20,000. These were the numbers that were widely interpreted, estimated left and right. However, these numbers are not true, or rather not accurate, because a couple days ago, Military Land laid out all the units defending Mariupol since it was encircled. And what surprised me was the high concentration of elite units. For example, there is the infamous Azov regiment, but not all of it, only the 1st Battalion. Knowing that the 2nd Battalion fought near Kiev, that means that half of Azov regiment, about 700 men, are in Mariupol. And with the 700 men of Azov, there is an unknown number of extra recruits, if I want to be politically correct, from all over the world. But I can't put a certain number on those men. Then you have 10 T-64 from the Azov Tank Company. There's also the very talked about 36th Marine Brigade. But again, not all of it is in Mariupol since the 1st Battalion of the brigade is deployed near Mykolaiv. However, it was noted that the 503rd Marine Battalion is in entirety at Mariupol at full strength. And they work in close collaboration with the 501st Battalion of the 36th Marine Brigade. And then there are some elements of the 56th Mechanized Brigade. We don't know how many, perhaps some rare elements, DHQ, but allegedly all combat battalions are fighting near Donetsk airport. And then you have additional units like some territorial brigades, some police units, some sea border guards, and the 12th Operational Brigade, the 1st Patrol Battalion. And to add to the general confusion as to how many Ukrainian forces are defending Mariupol, if you look at military strength, Ukraine says there are 3,500 personnel, including 800 from Azov Battalion, so that's about what we said. But Russia claims 8,000 personnel. And the reason why people thought it was so high is because they looked at the brigades, they estimated the brigade size and everything and came up with this number. However, it's important to note that these units there were not at full capacity. They were not at full strength. That's why, according to the latest estimates, we're talking about 8,100 Ukrainian soldiers at Mariupol. 8,100. It's still a lot of men. Of these 8,100, approximately 2,000 are captured, the rest killed or wounded, and then estimated another 2,000 at Azovstal. Talking about these guys, on Sunday, April 17th, the Russians had entirely encircled the garrison at Azovstal and basically told them that they could still surrender. They offered them a time window where they could surrender, there was a ceasefire, and if the time window passed, they would face total destruction. Now, according to the Russians, and I want to emphasize this, according to the Russians, so I cannot confirm the information, and I don't know whether it's true or not. You know, when I do these things, I really have to cover myself with if, maybe, perhaps, according, you know. Anyway, allegedly, You see, I did it again. The soldiers stuck in Azovstal asked the government in Kiev if they could surrender because they're out of supplies. This is what the Russians caught with radio emissions. But the president and the entire government said no, surrender, no, and that they have to keep fighting until the end. And we can believe that the goal is to transform the siege of Mariupol into something similar to the siege of El Alamo, the heroic defense of a fortress against overwhelming enemy forces. And just before we move on, remember there was this attempt, there was this attempt from the Marine Brigade to break through. So a lot of men tried to escape left and right, but it's been said that some group managed to reach Azovstal. So that is true. Some men of the 36th Marine Brigade managed to reach Azovstal, but the bulk got captured. And even the ones that managed to slip through Russian lines were eventually captured in the countryside because they're essentially on their own walking in enemy territory. This could tell us that the Russian encirclement around Mariupol is not as tight as what everyone expected, perhaps because some of the units have been redeployed since for the battle in Donbass. But it is known that the mop-up of Mariupol is taking much longer, and it has been said that Russian paratroopers that were meant for Izium are now on the way to Mariupol. Now basically the Russians have no other choice than to slowly mop up every inch of Azovstal at a high cost of their own men, while at the same time they tried to lower casualties by attempting to bomb remaining Ukrainian formations still operating in the factory with artillery, missile strikes, and even heavy bombers. But we don't know how efficient it is since a lot of the factory is located underground. Now I can't tell you when Azovstal will fall because I don't know the situation of the defenders, how much supplies and ammo they have left, but its fate is now certain. And once again, according to the very latest news, Russian and Ukrainian forces agreed for another ceasefire around Azovstal. Despite their last ultimatum, the Russians really hope that the garrison will surrender. Then there's the news of the FSB, the Russian secret services, the child of the KGB, arresting the commander of the Black Sea Fleet, Vice Admiral Igor Osipov, for the mismanagement of the events regarding the cruiser MOSKVA. I don't know if he's really involved in this or they're just trying to throw someone under the bus. But this is a good bridge to another topic regarding the MOSKVA. There's an article from the Mirror, a British newspaper outlet. But here it says, mystery as dead captain of sunken Russian ship is seen at survivors parade. That's right, Captain Anton Kuprin, which was allegedly killed during the explosion on the MOSKVA, was seen alive. And even worse, you see a ton of Russian crewmen allegedly lined up, allegedly from the MOSKVA, and they seem fine. I don't have the entire video, but you can see some of the images. Oh my god, I can't get rid of this. I hate it. What's going on? Okay, just ignore this. Then it says, only 150 men could be seen in Sevastopol parade footage taken by Russian defense. But the tally of the crew of the stricken MOSKVA came to more than 500 sailors. So yes, we saw a lot of the Russian sailors lined up, but there's only approximately 150. Where are the others? Now, that doesn't mean that they're all dead, but probably the wounded were not present, because I don't think seeing a lot of men with missing limbs or in wheelchairs or anything would be nice for Russian propaganda. But it also goes to show that a lot of them survived. And now in this article that talks about the first images we have of the sinking MOSKVA, it's interesting. Check this out. Exactly. It confirms what I just told you. Parents of another conscript say they have found out some 200 were wounded, many with horrific burns and other major injuries. And this is understandable. And this explains why they were not in this parade. That means 150 fine, 200 wounded, 350 alive, 150 killed. Apparently some of the conscripts and crews called their parents immediately after the ship was hit. My son said the cruiser was hit from the land from the Ukrainian side because a fire on board would not have started without a reason. She said most of the wounded have limbs torn off because of the explosion from both the missiles and the detonated ammunition. Oh yes, it's true. Oh my god. And I asked my Instagram followers to know whether the ship that is in this picture is actually the MOSKVA. It was confirmed. You know, there's a lot of videos coming out now about the rescue attempt. So there was indeed a rescue mission to save whatever was possible, whoever from the ship. And as you can see in the video, there was no storm. The sea is pretty calm. So we can see the cracks in the Russian narrative regarding the MOSKVA, that they only said, yeah, it was because of the ammunition exploded. But what led to the ammunition exploding? It was a Ukrainian missile. Then they said, yeah, everybody's fine, no casualties. When in fact, almost half the crew is killed or wounded, more than half. And the last thing they said, yeah, the ship sunk because of a storm, and you see there's no storm. And here in the article, they keep saying it appears to show 2 holes amidst at the waterline just below the stacks on the port side. That means 2 missiles reached the MOSKVA. Now the question I have is, how many Ukrainian missiles were launched? Was it only 2? That means 100% hit rate? Or did they send 20 and now we're only at 10% hit rate? So that's a question, but I don't think we'll ever have the answer for that.